Welcome back to Random Tasks. Today we are going to be replacing the headlamp on my Vespa PX 125 with a new LED unit from SIP. Fairly straightforward process, I hope. Starting by taking off the windshield and then taking off the mirrors and then taking off the top cover and then to get to the headlight itself. To do this, you'll need relatively simple tools: hex wrench, 7mm wrench for the little adjustment bolt for the headlight under here, Phillips head screwdriver, and a 17mm and 14mm wrenches to take the mirrors off. Okay, so let's get started. So the windshield is held on by 4 bolts. These have you need a 5mm Allen wrench to remove them. It's pretty simple. That is under here, and then the thing just comes right off. So before I get too far, I should probably point out I have an LED bulb in the original Vespa PX housing, and this is what it looks like now. So it is a nice bright light, but I think I want to try to improve upon the pattern, which is why I bought the SIP LED unit. So before I get too far into taking the handlebar covers off and everything like that, there's some prep work to do on the light. So this comes with a little mounting kit, and that diagram shows how everything goes together. This mounts on the back of the light and has all the points for doing the swivel adjustment after the fact. It's got all the hardware, so I just need to get that in and then line up these holes and put a few screws in. So now that the ring is mounted on the light, you can put these little side pieces on. So there's one nut, one regular washer, split washer, and the little bolt itself. Okay, so that's all prepped. One more thing I'm going to do is just tape off these connectors here. This is for the pilot light, which I will not be using. If you've watched one of these before, you know I've got an electric converted Vespa PX 125, and basically when I turn on the power, the light comes on automatically, and that's fine by me. I don't need the pilot light, so I'm just going to tape these off so that they don't cause any problems. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is remove the mirrors. Basically, move the boot up, and there's a 14mm part on the bottom, 17mm on top. I like to use this cone wrench for the bottom one because it's a bit shallow, and just put a bit of a rag underneath so I don't damage the paint on that. It does take a bit of force. I'm going to use 2 hands, so I will do that off camera. Okay, so I got it loose now, so I can do it with my finger, and that allows me to just pull that up. So a little compression type of fitting there, and the whole thing itself screws up and down. Be great if you could just remove the whole thing, but it actually kind of locks onto the handlebar area, so it's not possible. There, that's that. Okay, so next I need to remove 4 Phillips head screws. There's one, and there was one up here as well, and then same on the other side. And that'll release the top cover here. Okay, so the screws are removed, so this kind of just comes up like this. Actually, I'll push that down a bit. Kind of fit it over that. Hard to do with one hand, but you get the idea. There is the speedometer cable that is attached to the back of the speedometer, so that is always a tricky little bit to deal with. So one other thing I need to do as well is to get the headlight out anyway, is that there's a 7mm bolt right there that I need to undo. This allows the headlight to move backwards and forwards so you can adjust the aim. So I'll do that, and I should probably just be able to move the headlights, because I can get to the 2 Phillips head screws that are holding in at the side. There's one here and one here, without taking the cover completely off. I really don't feel like disconnecting the speedometer cable. Okay, so I've removed the 2 screws that are holding this thing at the side, and the headlight just kind of comes out like that. You can see back here, this is where the speedometer cable snaps in, and again, I really don't feel like disconnecting that, so I'm going to try to do this without. May be tricky though, because I need to remove these brackets so I can screw the new ones in. I can't really reuse the existing, well, I could reuse the existing ones, but it's a bit tricky. Actually might try doing that first. Okay, so I do need to replace these because these old ones, that hole is too small and I really don't feel like drilling them out. So I am going to disconnect that so I can just more easily remove that and install these. Okay, now I have put the new brackets in, still somewhat loose because I want to get the light in position before I tighten them. And yeah, it's be a little bit tricky, but I'll get it done. Okay, I've got it temporarily sitting in here. Just have these screws sticking through the brackets. I've wired it up on the SIP headlight. It's black to black, and then blue to purple, and red to brown, and then it's all right. Now if I turn on the power, that's low beam, and high beam, so that works. Good. So I should probably do it before and after with the door down in a minute, but I'm going to finish screwing it back, screwing these in, at least connecting putting the nuts on those and putting the whole thing back together. I also need to put the adjustment screw in the bottom. Okay, so I got the nuts on. That was not the easiest thing to do, but they're in. I just need to tighten these screws up here now. I've already got the adjustment screw underneath here, and then I can put the cover back on. Okay, cover's back on. Just gotta put the mirrors back on, and then the windshield, which obviously is an optional thing, but I do find it useful. And then once that is done, I will put the door down and test and look at the difference in the headlight pattern. Okay, everything's back together. So the door is down, put the light on. Aha, yes, it's a much flatter beam, which was what I was hoping for. And if I put it on the bright, yeah, good. So I'm quite pleased with that. Hope you all found this video useful or interesting, and if you did, please like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. And we'll be back next time with something else. No idea what. That's the way this channel works. Thanks, everyone.